What's good, YouTube? You're back on S Motorsports. Today we're going to be porting the LS3 intake for my LQ4 build. Like I said, guys, today we're going to be starting work because I cannot wait to get the intake onto the engine now that we got the heads and the rockers all set. I can't wait to get the new intake on. This is an LS3 intake. Obviously, you got to use the square port intake with the square port heads, or the rec port heads, I should say. So I'm going to do some mild porting on this. I'm going to double check. I got the throttle body, the fuel rails. I got everything to start assembling this in this episode as well. But I wanted to do some mild porting to this. Let me get a flashlight here. All right, guys, so as you can see, this is a stock LS3 intake. I have not done anything to this yet. And let me do this. And so what I'm planning on doing is just removing this, this right here, which is like the EGR or PCV tube that normally goes in. So, you know, really I could do absolutely nothing to the LS3 intake and it would still perform awesome. Really, I'm just gonna hack that out because it makes me feel better. Is there any gain? Probably not at all. And I will link a video to Richard Holdner, an episode he recently did with an LS3 comparison on a 427, I think with LS3 heads, where he did a stock plain intake with a rod modded LS3 intake on a 427. And honestly, the stock intake did really good. It was only like a matter of 5 or 6 horsepower. So is that really going to do anything? No, but that's all I'm looking to do is just remove that little tube there and then make sure that my throttle body matches up good here. I need to wash this out anyways, looking at it. So that's not a big deal. I really shouldn't make too much of a mess, which I'm just gonna have a vacuum in there anyways to try and catch as much as I can. But like I said, I need to vacuum, or I need to clean that out anyways. So I'll rinse it with water and everything, get everything flushed out, blow it out with air to make sure that it's ready to go. But yeah, let's start. I've just got to pull the Band-Aid off and hack that off and start grinding on it. This is my first plastic intake that I've ever tried to mess with. But yeah, I mean, as you can see, I got to put the foam on the bottom and all that good stuff yet. But I was pleasantly surprised that this intake actually did come with the gaskets and everything, which I got to remove before we start doing any sanding. But yeah, let's have at her. I'll get you set up. Let's just start hacking with the Sawzall. All right, guys, I'm not gonna say I'm not nervous cutting into this expensive intake, but I think it's pretty low risk. So I gotta wait on this intake so it doesn't move around. I'm gonna try and slice it off. There, just like that. Take a look. That looks pretty good. I can vacuum that out and then we will just sand that down. And I think I probably will sand maybe a little bit of the flashing in there as well, just kind of by hand, because I don't think my tool will get in there. But really that's, honestly, that's all I'm doing. Just opening it up, making sure we got clear airflow into the intake manifold. All right, now I got my sander, or die grinder, whatever, my little wheel, and I'm just gonna touch that up to smooth it out, or try to. Guys, that looks pretty dang good. Gonna hit it with some vacuum. Ooh, that's looking good. Just gonna hit this other corner. Yeah, that feels really good.
That's what she said.
All right, guys, that's it. I think we're calling her done. There was a little ridge, not a ridge, but there was a little bump. Just smooth that out. Took that off. That was super simple. Nice and clean. I mean, nice and open. It's looking good. We'll vacuum it up. Probably rinse it out a bunch of times with water. Get everything flushed out as best I can. And then we'll get it, hose it off as well with the air hose. And then we can start assembling it. All right, guys, we're back. I got the intake all cleaned up. It's ready to go. It's nice and dried out. As you can see, we're looking good. As you can also see, I got some more parts laid out. I'm pretty excited to get this intake installed on the engine. As you can see, I also had to switch up the valve cover. This is an LS3 style valve cover. The Gen 3 valve cover that I got with this LQ4 engine didn't fit with the rec port heads, the baffle that sits in there. And I could have cut it out and made something work, but honestly, this was pretty cheap on eBay, and it's just gonna work nicer. So as you can see, I got this one all painted up and actually installed with the gasket. That's all good to go. So I just got to get this cleaned up, get it repainted, and it's gonna be looking fine. So as you can see, we got parts laid out. I'm pretty excited to get all these installed. And let me talk about what I got here. Obviously, we got the LS3 intake. I got some little bolts here. I want to try using these to hold the throttle body on. Again, we got the FiTech, a 92 millimeter throttle body. And again, that included all the sensors. So we are set there to just bolt that in. I got a GM map sensor and a GM map bolt. So I do want to call this out. This is like a self-tapping thread. And since this is a new manifold and it doesn't have those threads cut in there yet, I wanted to make sure that I got the right bolt. I just actually ordered this from my local dealer. It was like $6. So, I mean, $6 for a bolt is kind of pricey, but I wanted to make sure that we didn't crack the manifold or anything. So I also got a throttle cable bracket. This was, I think, just on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description if I can find that. That should work pretty good. And then this is a big one. I'm going with these FJ1038 fuel injectors. They're actually like an LS3 style injector, and so it's like the lower, shorter LS3 style injectors. And these are like 52 pound injectors. So that should be plenty of fuel for this engine. These are like factory, obviously this is not a GM part, but these are like the factory GM style flex fuel sensor or flex fuel injectors that were used on like a 2009 6.2 liter Hummer H2. So that's where these basically come from. So it's kind of nice that GM has, call it a 50 pound injector that was stock. Here I just picked up some ARP manifold bolts to bolt this down to make it look nicer. I got these secondhand life on Amazon, so they were a couple bucks, you know, they were like, I think like $12 or something. So they were pretty cheap. So I always look out for that. And then here we got some, I think these are FiTech fuel rails too, or sniper, oh, Holley sniper, yeah, my bad. So these, I thought these looked the best, and they came with -8 AN ends, because I wanted to make sure that I'm running -8 fuel line from the tank all the way up to the fuel rails, crossover, and then -8 to the regulator on the car, and then we'll run -6 for the return. So this comes with the fuel line and everything. I'm probably not going to use this fuel line. I'll probably just install it today just to make it look nice, but I will be making my own line out of PTFE line. because that's what I'm doing the rest of the fuel system in, just to make sure that we're E85 or ethanol compatible. So these look really nice. So I'm gonna get you set up on the tripod, and we're gonna start just plugging parts away and see how it goes together. All right, let's have at her. I'll put a link in the description for this wrench I picked up on Amazon, Energy Evil wrench. It seems like pretty good, so I'm gonna see how that works on all of my fittings and everything for the AN fittings. I think it seems pretty good, so it's adjustable. Like I said, I'll put a link in the description.
Nice.
All right, guys, here's the moment. Dropping it on. Ta-da! Oh man, that looks good. Wah! Wah, wah. Oh yeah, guys, look at this. Look at how good that looks. Except for this giant loop. I mean, that is way too long. So, I mean, good thing I'm making a new hose anyways. Let me grab the throttle bracket. So I do have to, this was just off Amazon, so it's, I don't know, cheap part. But as you can see, we're hitting the fuel rail. The holes don't line up, so I gotta do a little elongating of those holes and trimming to get it to fit. And I'll probably end up spacing it up maybe a ½ inch too. I don't know. Well, actually that might cause more interference. I think I probably got to space it up like a ½ inch just to clear the map sensor there. And then this will probably still have to be like angled kind of like that, but then hopefully I can get it a lot tighter than where this one's coming almost straight over and then angled in. So hopefully I can make that look pretty nice. It'd be good if I could get this lower, but as you can see, it's kind of, you know, it's pretty tight in here. This is where the fuel rail wants to live at that angle. So it's kind of, it is what it is with these, with this bracket. Like I said, I think I can make it work. I think if I just, like I said, space it up a little bit, then I don't have to trim any off here. Make it hover that map sensor like that. If you can see, make it hover just a little bit. Like I said, that's probably like ½ inch. And then I think that'll still work with the throttle nice. Wah, 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 wah. Yeah, that's looking good. Oh yeah, one thing I forgot to do is double check that. Ah, crap. I gotta move that up a little bit. All right, guys, I got the throttle body adjusted. So now when I open up, it's kind of hard to see, but basically I got this. So this is, the bottom here is nice and flush. So before there was a lip. So all I had to do was loosen the bolts and just kind of slide that up as far as it could go and then tighten it down as I wanted that bottom to have a nice smooth transition. The top, you know, maybe has like a little ridge, but I'd rather have the top than the bottom as your, yeah, I don't know. That's what I did. I think that's a good compromise. As you can see, that thing is so damn tall. But man, does this look good. I mean, it's just crazy how much lower profile, you know, this is gonna be in the Trans Am versus having the carb and having to have like my air cleaner plenum thing on top. And I mean, that was just kind of a hassle. This is gonna be way nicer. It's gonna fit underneath the hood perfect. And then I can have a nice intake coming off, and we're gonna go route it over here. I may or may not have to get rid of that brake booster. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe I can shove the air filter in here like I had it before. But oh man, this is looking so good. I mean, I definitely got to get that other valve cover painted, but I mean, whew, now I can start messing with other stuff. I got to get the mounts on there. We have to modify those a little bit. I think I got to cut a little bit off of this to get the AC bracket installed, but then we can start putting on the water pump and getting that laid out as well. All right, guys, that's it for today. I mean, this engine is really coming along and looking mighty fine. Make sure, if you haven't done so yet, to subscribe, give this video a big thumbs up, and share, you know, to help get this out to other people as well doing builds. I'm getting a lot of good positive comments on this engine build and other people doing the same thing. So if I can learn from you guys, or if you can learn from me, obviously, you know, I'm willing to share whatever with you guys, what I'm doing on this build. So thanks for joining in, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.